We are now entering a very interesting session, that is Kenya-Germany Labour Mission Embassy of Germany, to give some keynote remarks. So I would like to welcome you to give some keynote remarks. So I would like to welcome you to, and then we can go into the panel.
I'll try my best. Good afternoon. Getting more and more important, at least for Germany, but I think that's also true for all the other countries. We know of your importance for the newcomers, to provide them with information, to consult them if they have problems, but also I think, and that is the most important one, to give them emotional comfort. We know about mental health problems of people who go to. We know about mental health problems of people who go to another country and live there. I have done that in my life 7, 8, 9 times in completely different countries, and I know how it is to start to foreign countries. So I think it's a win-win situation. And when we look at Germany in particular, the question of brain drain has so far not been relevant, I can say, because most of the people that vacation in Germany, so the people that vacation in Germany, so the main qualification that they have is their language skills. So you need to vacation that they have is their language skills. So you need to learn German language before you go to Germany.
A diaspora and I'm a migrant, all that in one.
Before you go to Germany.
A diaspora and I'm a migrant, all that in one. And diaspora and I'm a migrant, all that in one. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be here because the work that we are doing, we cannot do it. Because the work that we are doing, we cannot do it.
So, and the discussion that we have around here, we are happy because some of the things also, we are happy because some of the things also, we don't have to have it outside, but also that we can ask you directly. And we am here now in this, in Kenya. Also, we are doing a training, especially what the ambassador said, you know, when people travel there, then the first few months is Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and then it just follows after 3 months, then we go to winter. And then the survival mechanism over there is very important. So we're here to support on information. There are the things that are being laid down in policy side, but there is a reality on the ground. So we are here to enlighten Kenya on what we call here in Kenya, view to qua ground. So, and that is what we do these sessions. We will be having another one in Eldoret on the 14th. So, Deputy Ambassador, if you happen to be in Eldoret, it will be great. So that people may not say that we're telling them something that is just out of ourselves. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, we now want to start our panel discussion. And I'm going to start with Ambassador, Deputy Ambassador. Kindly tell us, from your view, what are the skills that are in very high demand in Germany and that the education and training system in Kenya should be working towards developing?
Yeah, so I just, if we have had this discussion a year ago or 2 years ago, I would have said we need almost everybody in every profession. But that has changed a little bit. Our automotive sector, machinery sector, chemical industry are very much under pressure at the moment from different external factors, but also internal issues. Kind of care, so healthcare, but also care for elderly people, care for elderly people, or care for sick people. That in your education, and then you're a recognized nurse in Germany because the authorities in Bavaria might decide differently from the authorities in Hamburg, for instance, or in Stuttgart. So that makes it in Stuttgart. So that makes it extremely complicated also for us to actually set up programs at schools in order to make that possible. That means there will be to make that possible. That means there will be a close exchange. Students will go to Germany, work there. Students will go to Germany, work there for a while, study there for a while, come back, and then probably there for a while, come back, and then probably for their final exams go to Germany again and do the exams there in Germany, so that there's no question in the formation of the people. Question in the formation of the people is formation of the people is very important to really scale it and very important to really scale it and come to bigger numbers. The German government alone will not be able to do that. I know that there's also a way that we can be sure that the students actually are recognized equally to applicants from Germany, and that's complex and not so easy, and we will start with this mixed German-Kenyan education model in order to make experience and then go from there.
Okay, thank you. I want to direct the question next to Jackie, to tell us about the challenges that Kenyan migrant workers in Germany face in terms of cultural integration and resilience.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. First, a diaspora and being active in different spaces, reach out to the migrants. I like the fact that we have all transitioned. We just had Kirui say he's been there for 20 years, doing it wholeheartedly. Signing of the labor mobility agreement, we all know that Germany and Kenya has been having this legal pathway coming into that country. It helps us, or the migrants who are coming in, not to be exploited. Because if you come in illegally, the chances that you're going to be exploited and you have the fear of reporting it is very high, because you're undocumented. So this kind of pathways that has been created, that is one thing that is really, really a strength has been given. The other thing is the role of the consular services that has been buffed up. Now we have a lot that has been strengthened, and we can run over there and say, hey, how are the visas? Because we know that the German end, things are working. Actually, you increased visa workers in your area, in your mission. And this can also be seen as per the numbers that are coming in. And what else do we have these as a strength? We have a strength in them that we now have labor attaché. All those years, Kirui can testify, and Caro, the treasurer of Quick, can also testify. We've been there for over 20 years. We never had a labor attaché. The labor attaché that we now have since last year is there to make, this year actually, is there actually to make sure that there is no exploitation, is there to make sure that whatever was done during the pre-boarding time in country and the promises that were made here are being fulfilled. And of course, she cannot do it on her own. She needs the diaspora organizations. She needs Quick, she needs GUDA, she needs a Career Hub, she needs KEPIC, she needs KDHC. Because where there are strengths, there are also challenges. You just mentioned that. And we actually do the cultural and orientation, just like any other diaspora organization. The challenges of the mental that Ambassador Fiale talked about. And for the investors, please, the circles, our students appeal that is going out also. Our students appeal that is going out also to the Kenyan government already. PS Roslyn Jogu talked to government already PS. Rosalind Jogu talked about it. We should also start, and I know Dr. Shem, we really, really need them because out there is not a walk through a park. Thank you very much. Because out there is not a walk through a park. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to go now to Simon. Thank you. I want to go now to Simon.
Compared to Nairobi, of course. That kind of reduced the culture shock for me for Germany. And of course, heading to Germany, I had no language. And of course, heading to Germany, I had no language. By then, there was an incentive. If you get above 80, you will get your money back. So I went full gas, and I got my 50% of the costs studying any profession. So I went into the first company, sent a lot of CVs, and it didn't work. So at some point in time, I decided I'm going to do an house building with a degree. And just to get into the market, it wasn't easy. So they paid me peanuts because, of course, with a degree and you are old enough, operations between companies. Just telling you the whole story because I was told what I'm doing in Germany. So after that, I went and I started my own company, which is called KPIC. It has got a kind of a nut, very stringent on companies who do funny things. So a nut, very stringent on companies who do funny things. So I wanted to say the labor market in Germany, the labor market in Germany, be it with the mobility or no mobility, is Ambassador also highlighted on the difference between regions. The 16 federal states. I come from Baden-Württemberg. They have their own ways on how to do it. So some physiotherapists, for example, will be rated otherwise in Bayern as compared to Baden-Württemberg or North Rhine-Westphalia. So when I give all these informations on the market, we took ground. We give them the reality as per our areas, but we give them the reality as per our areas, but generally also as compared to other areas. So what I've been doing is supporting as compared to other areas. So what I've been doing is supporting also the Kenyans doing the integration. When it started, I started with Asylbewerben in Germany, people who are seeking for asylum in Germany, to give them Ausbildung places. German companies that these people could work. And of course, you needed to change the mindset of those people. And that is why what we're working on now is also to see how they and you know very well the Gen Z's kid. It's not I saw a video which was really, I wrote it, this is not compatible with the German.
Okay, there's somebody joining us on the screen. I don't know if he's been connected. As you connect him, I would like to ask Ambassador, the kind of migration that Germany is thinking about in terms...
Others went back.
The kind of migration that Germany is thinking about in terms...
Others went back. And luckily we accepted that and also made it possible for those people to stay for good, and many of them go back to their home countries and maybe establish a business relationship. A business relationship with Germany, set up their business here, but still have their connections to Germany, and that's great. Whether they finally live in Turkey or in Germany doesn't matter so much anymore, but they actually contribute to a very vital themselves and their families. We try to do that also. I don't have the exact numbers, but I think we have had more than 1 million asylum seekers.
That is where we give our Kenyan women space with their family, this safe space to guide them, to protect them. It all started during the COVID-19 time. And that you're the first uptrader. Oh God, who is that? What's that? Being a woman does not mean that you're the last one in the society. You have your rights, but you have no. And nobody should tell you that you have less wage. You're going to be paid the same wage as any other person, any other worker within that area, within your range. The domestic violence and abuse is not only in Germany, but I'm so happy that awareness is also being created in Kenya. Began, and I'm telling you, we've had the first focus group discussions, and every third or fourth, in the 60s, even those ones, the Turkish and the Italians brought their children. But that is something that we also have to look into. So that is one thing. The challenges are gender-based violence, the mental health for having left their families back home. Those are also still there. But we are working around that with the municipality, because the municipality have just realized the beauty of a country is the diversity. And we just heard from the two that bringing in new cultures, bringing in colorful whatever food, because that is the beauty of staying together, and that is the beauty that we are bringing in there. And we also have to accept the other culture. And that is something that sometimes is very difficult for us. But we say, look here, when I decide to go into your house, I don't come in and dictate how I want to live in your house. I have to accept that I can have the 50-50. So I take 50% of my culture, and I'm ready to take 50% of your culture so that I can make 100. It does not mean that when we are telling you to embrace the culture of the place you're living in, you leave your culture. Mwacha mila ni mtumwa. You still have to be you, and nobody can ever be you, and keep your culture as well. So I'm done with that part. And you asked about the reintegration. And I've been asking if this one I'm not putting on the German side, but I'm putting on the Kenyan side. How prepared was the government before signing that? We reintegrated when they come back. How is the reintegration happening? There is no government official from Kenya, and I would have loved to ask that, because that is something that now has to be taken up here. You're here. I will point it back to you. I'll turn the question. The social benefits. When signing this bill, what actually we forgot, let me put it that way, as a country,
export labor. I want your comment, labor. I want your comment on how we can improve these private recruitment agencies so that we can have safe,
like to fill in an open position almost up to, like to fill in an open position almost up to 100 and something days until you you close a deal of a recruiting person. I was telling the people that we were that you don't have to go through us. We are out there, we're in Germany, we're talking to employers, we understand what they need. You want to give what you don't understand what the employers that need. So what we do is we visit actually companies. Sometimes we look at the websites, we see what they do. We also go into the media, we have newspapers, we also have TV, because we want to show that we are here and what we are looking for are success stories. Of course, there are big companies who are, especially. The reason was there were some who recruited actually from Tunisia and Morocco, I think so. Ambassador, there was that collaboration before, and and it will be one day. So it's a simple something like good morning. Just moving or something. If you run around because many people have a problem, and we don't forget that we're blacks. So there's also a fact, we're different. And what we need to understand as well is what Jackie mentioned about the confidence is to understand our self-worth. You cannot give what you don't have. So to increase the confidence of a young man who is living from here to that side, but also to protect their aspirations, their expectations, but manage the problem. Called PDC, Personal Development Challenge, to also increase that confidence, and then we can have a win-win.
Thank you.
I'm told the time is up, but I want to give you 1 minute to say your last word on how Kenya, the government, can improve labor mobility, exporting our labor to Germany.
And we have to do serious steps to do that. And we should certify the good ones and should find good ways. The IOM has a certification, a few others are close to it, but if that would be a bigger number, if we would manage to have to accelerate that process and scale it by numbers, I think that would be a good. I think that would be a good thing, so that we can say. And so we hope that the Kenyan side can be a bit more practical, and support us there. But if we both support us there, but if we both try to be a bit more efficient and better, I think that
because
a bit more efficient and better, I think that
because I've been bringing Kenyan business people to collaborate with the Kenyan business people to collaborate with the so to an extent when we do an invitation letter, region where there are a lot of racism, so going to Germany is not Germany. You can going to Germany is not Germany. You can go to AFD, you heard about it. You can go to where they're really, yeah.
Ambassador and you, Madam, Kenya government. First of all, we only hear of recruitment agencies. Do they have an association for recruitment agencies in Kenya? An association for recruitment agencies in Kenya, controlled centrally somewhere, so that when they get instruction. Number two, to the ambassador. Care is important. It's one of the recognized needs of Germany in caregivers. These are people, in my view, who have got very poor backgrounds. They don't have money, they don't have what. So tell them to do some education in Kenya, go to Germany, get a... Is it not possible to work out something where a German institution can accredit a Kenyan institution and both the accredit and certificate, so that we train here affordably, but you will certificate, and then those people will know, yes, this was done, and we are ready, we are here, this was done, and we are ready, we are here to facilitate that, an institution locally, with not just Kinuthia Wamangi, but with Zetech University. We want to afford, and we shall be able to do what you want. We have the capacities, and we can get it, or we can even train and make people capable. So, my friend, go and ask that question for me. Come back to the Institute of Aging Studies in Zetech University, and we are willing to cooperate in that sense, making caregiving an affordable education in caregiving, and being comfortably through this association of recruitment agents to also export those labor to Germany with your agreement and arrangement.
That's yes. Let's, for gender balance, let's have somebody there. Then Ambassador can answer.
Good afternoon. My name is Irene from HTV Africa, where we train German language, where we teach the German language. And we have noticed that the pass rate has not been good for the exams. So perhaps from the
question of what it prevents the students going to Germany?
The pass rate of the exams. They are not passing the exams with the mark. Thank you.
Mine, thank you, not a question, but just a brief comment. I want to Dot Africa. There's a team from Ethiopia in the house. So we look forward to deepening, but mine to pass the compliments to Enrich Ball, even when they are not in the room, but they're well represented. Thanks. Are they here? Thank you so much. Okay.
So, Ambassador, you can answer.
Yeah, maybe I start with the language question. Actually, one of the problems that we hear from German employers is that the Kenyans who come to Germany do not speak German good enough. So it's not a question of lowering the hurdle, it's rather the question of bringing it up. It's just necessary for the integration. It doesn't help the people. You get a certificate, you go to Germany, and in a German hospital, you're thrown in everyday life, and people will not. You have to do with patients who speak dialect, who use words you have never heard of, and you have doctors who just shout on the corridor, go to this patient, do this and that, and he has this and that job. But the beginning is very hard for those who are just at the lower end of the requirements for language skills. Recruitment agencies and qualification here in Kenya. As I've just mentioned, Kenya is working on a model how we can actually bring the qualification that is necessary for Germany into the country, into Kenya, because we know also from other countries, from India for instance, that it is much cheaper to train and qualify the people in their home country and then bring them to Germany, because there's also always a dropout rate. So if I train carpenters and I only look at the soft skills of the people and then take them to Germany and learn it there, after half a year they will find out, no, I'm not a good carpenter and I'm not happy with what I'm doing, and I want to step down. The economic damage is bigger if those persons are already in Germany, if they have learned German already for quite some time, and then they drop out, compared to when they study in their home country and they drop out. The economic damage is not that high. So that is there are many arguments of origin and then send the people to Germany. So we are working on that. It's a complex process, because does not mean there is less qualification. It's another qualification. They have to do other things than they do here, and that's quite complex. We put more emphasis on practical skills and practical knowledge of people before which they get already in their education. So if you work in or if you do the training in a German hospital, you're half time in school and half time you work already in the hospital. And to simulate that here, time you work already in the hospital. And to simulate that here, Cyrus, is Cyrus there? In the meantime, whilst we wait, Cyrus is coming, let's have a round of applause. Whereby professionals who had retired were allowed to come and work with our institutions in Kenya. Maybe this can be a solution pathway for upgrading our Kenyans and training them in a different dialect, German dialect series. Just a thought for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Are we okay? Okay, round of applause. Thank you very much for that wonderful session. Yeah. Auf Wiedersehen. Good.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Your program. Yeah. Your program. Yeah. Day two. Morning, afternoon. Part of the program. Morning, afternoon. Part of the program. Yeah, thank you for providing the necessary training. So we have a structure, and we give thanks once again to the German government and the Kenyan government for giving us that opportunity. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you very much. Agenda item. This afternoon we are looking at health cooperatives and the service sector. A keynote speech will be given by Dr. Ouma. A lot of energy. He has been interacting with us all morning, and he's a man who is highly engaged with the IT system because he's been, that laptop is... Okay, good. Please. Yeah. Good afternoon, good after lunch. I'm hoping there is no other session after me because this is the last session and the ministry is not here. Those are the ones who would have. I'm actually not Oluga. I'm next, you know. Oh, there is partner. Oh, yeah, partner. Oh, so I just want to make this session brief. I'm a gynecologist, daktari wa mama, akina dada. I work in both public and private. I've been in that field of medicine for the last 25 years. It's genetics that I still look young. It's just genetics, nothing else. And I also double up as the president of Kenya Medical Association. So when Shem gave me this opportunity, I took it as an opportunity to come and beg diaspora to help healthcare, to beg diaspora to healthcare. So I'll quickly go to a small presentation. Cabinet Secretary, not here. Principal Secretary, distinguished delegates, world leaders, diaspora representatives from cooperatives, health organizations, SASRA, fellow ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Earlier today, I was listening to some fellow called Kamunyu Njoroge speak us traditionally know very little about. I found myself thinking that without good health, money is not useful. With 2 billion shillings in liquidity, they are begging us to. With 2 billion shillings in liquidity, they are begging us to take loans. The only reason we are not bigger than Kimisitu Sacco is that so that he can pass a budget to pay us back money that we won because the judge could not distinguish between the real and the plots are divided into three. 1 to 3. 1, title 2 bila infrastructure, then ingine title 2 bila infrastructure, then ingine title with infrastructure, then the other one housing. So those who are rich by the interest rates, the banks, and to the trouble. So KMA needs about 500 million shillings only to clear that small debt and free the association so that the association can focus. We have an incomplete auditorium, which we just need 30 million to sort out that. But why should diaspora support Kenya Medical Association? Kenya Medical Authority. How many of you are paying for your folks' social health authority fees? SHIF, it's called SHIF. All of you, eh? Now we are coming to the real deal. And it's a lot of money. Some of the suggestions we made, like, no, this is an extra tax, they did not take it on board, but we insisted on being in the board so that we keep them in check. 2, the Kenya Medical Practitioner which is the body that regulates doctors and regulates health facilities. All facilities have to be regulated through KMPDC. So if diaspora, you want to build a hospital, you have to. We also sit in the Tobacco Control Board and the Kenya Consumer Protection Oversight Authority, KECOPAC. You know, those are important things for protecting patient rights. We also, more importantly, recently, we are politicians. So we won the presidency of the World Medical Association. Tupewe makofi. So Dr. Jacqueline Kistulu, a past president of Kenya Medical Association, is the president of the World Medical Association. And all that was given, actually they proposed that we host one of the meetings, actually hosted the World, because cooperatives are in the rural area, so doctors are paid there and they stay there. Even said the world, because cooperatives are in the rural area, so doctors are paid there and they stay there. Everyone is now moving to town because, you know, it's better pay and prevent moving to town because, you know, it's better pay and preventive care. Already built KMA Sacco, KMA Housing Center, KMA Sacco and KMA Center. It's time to build a cooperative-driven healthcare system. So what's my call to action? In conclusion, health is the heartbeat of development. We said you can have money. If you don't have good health, that's useless. But money is okay for helping you get good here.
I think we are moving into the next keynote speaker, and we can save the questions until later. I think, if you don't mind, thank you. I think, if you don't mind, thank you, Dr. Kigo, Seattle, USA, presumably. Is he on USA, presumably? Is he on virtually? Virtually? Ken Bright? Ken Bright? Also, you're representing two people, including yourself. So you're representing two people, including yourself. So welcome. Yeah. Yeah. And then of course, Ujo, she comes. So please, huh? Yeah. Thank you. Right. So we have quorum. Thank you very much. So
flying doctors who are a commercial arm of AMREF, and I'm not speaking about that, so I'll focus on what I do. And I hope that distinguishes, and I'm not speaking about that, so I'll focus on what I do. And I hope that distinguishes who we are. At Flying Doctor Society, I represent the marketing and fundraising department as the head. And my core mandate is to see how we can grow giving, external funding. It is to see how we can grow giving, external funding, especially for the NGO space. But that is quickly. Recent case in point, USAID, to make sure that the people that we are serving in the rural communities, who are the people who feed us. We depend on the rural communities for our agriculture. They feed us, they send food into the city. I have friends in the US who get managu dried from Kenya and sent to the US. However, one of the biggest challenges that we are seeing is around maternal. One of the biggest challenges that we are seeing is around maternal healthcare. And our intervention right now centers around the issue of fistula. Which is a morbidity that comes by fundraising the spaces you are, and with that money, we are able to go and do free fistula surgeries in those hard to reach places. I don't know, I'm guessing which does happen a lot of times. You're going to go back to your community, which does happen a lot of times. You're going to go back to your community, to your maternal home where you came from, Again, women are still not being given land. Again, women are still not being given land. Where are they going to land? Where are they going to land?
Come on, round of applause for Angela here. And it has left her in limbo, but she has told us the nature and the extent of the problem she faces. And I think as a diaspora organization, it's important that we find a way of adopting this and making it our own. The problem of fistula, the problems they face in the rural area, lack of medical skills. These are all problems that are not only directly related to the medical field. Kenya, we are not an urbanized country. What we can do through crowdfunding and whatever means you may have to reach out to her. Thank you very much. Thank you, Bupa.
Talk about Bupa. Let me just talk a little bit about the subject in hand, which is diaspora. So we've heard loads of conversations today, and I think in between the conversations around investment, we've also heard the importance of health when it comes to the diaspora population, but actually also closer to home as well. And equipping to go overseas. So the ones that we talked about, the conversation just before around the German employment market and the opportunity, and actually making sure that those rent, jobs, income, but what's the health situation? What am I going to do if I fall ill? Because fundamentally that is the basis of why you're over there. And you know, without the health, is it access? Is it quality? What is it that you look for when you look for a medical solution overseas? Yeah, but actually affordability is almost irrelevant in a health situation where it doesn't deliver when it matters most. So if you're thinking health insurance, it's an intangible product you're buying. It's not like buying a car that you get into a stands, but it goes right across all industries. That said, is plus 60. Okay, so that gives you. So that gives you a measure of why Bupa, and that's really important. Let me tell you a little bit more about Bupa. So Bupa is national, been in operation for about 60 years. Bupa Group supports over 60 million customers globally. So is the only global healthcare provider that is now directly licensed in Kenya. Okay, and that's really important. It basically means that our entity here in Kenya is Kenya in a really unique position. And because we've identified Kenya as our hub for Africa, as our head office, it goes back to the conversations we were having earlier about making sure Kenya becomes a true hub from a medical provision point of view. Right? For the diaspora across the continent, but also globally. For Kenyan diaspora that's overseas, can now, why should that happen? Why can't that stay here in Kenya? Now, from a medical insurance point of view, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Of all the international private medical insurance claims do you think, this is international customers, right? So these are Kenyan domiciled individuals who've taken out international cover already. What percentage of those claims do you think is treated overseas versus treated locally? 10%? 50%? Hands up? No? 70% treated overseas? 70% treated overseas? 30% treated overseas? 30%? 30? 30%? 30? Much lower? 10%? Much lower? 10%? Okay, so let's go to the answer. That's not because they select to go overseas. Yeah? So 100% of our claims assessment happens with a view of treating them here in Kenya. So we want 100% of claims settled in Kenya. We don't need people traveling overseas unless medically necessary. But a 30% is treated overseas because of it's necessary. So they are treated in Germany, in India, the UK, most popular, right? In terms of, because it's access to care that we currently cannot provide here. So it's really important to understand, actually, not just the diaspora, but those who are also here. There's a relevance and there's a need from an international private medical perspective. I'll stop there because I can carry on going on about people globally. Wow.
We have always told you, you're much welcome to Kenya. We've known Bupa for 30 years. I've been a beneficiary of the Bupa policy myself. Where we have the gap is in the infrastructure, of which Bupa has as an international product. Can it be brought to Kenya? Can we have it developing facilities in this country? Because outside the main urban gap, we need to increase that, we need to increase the quality, we need to increase the coverage. So I think you have a big responsibility here as the first CEO of Bupa, and we're welcome to Monica. Monica is here from Jubilee Insurance, please.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure for us to be here today. This year's theme, Cooperative Models for Inclusive Growth and Sustainable Development, speak profoundly of who we are as Kenyans. We are a people rooted in community, in shared responsibility, and in the belief that progress is strong when it leads everyone. When we speak about Kenyan diaspora, we are not just describing our community and at home, and that's healthcare and security. We all know the story too well. A phone call at dawn, a sudden medical emergency. We lead East Africa's health insurance sector, and we do this through our regions, the region's largest medical provider or network, partnership with the Kenya Diaspora Alliance, a partnership built on trust, transparency, a shared commitment to protect the well-being of the people who matter most. Imagine a Kenya where every family from Kisii possible productivity, productivity and peace of mind through development. Thank you for the development. Thank you for the opportunity.
From the little I know, Jubilee Insurance is part of the Aga Khan Group. That's correct. So you have Aga Khan Group. That's correct. So you have a facility here. Yes. So a facility here. Yes. So
you have to step out for other duties. Now, I must say I thought it was going to be a round table discussion. Then I heard it's going to be a actual personally and insurance as well. Now, we started, Kenbreak was founded more than 30 years ago. Intelligence, we know who is the best in the market, who is the best we can work with to be able to provide the best services to our clients. And that's why we have this partnership with how can we be able to provide a solution for the individuals who are in diaspora who are working out of Kenya, for them to be able to have access to quality healthcare, affordable healthcare, reliable healthcare, as well as for them to be able to also be able to get healthcare for their loved ones back home, or even they themselves when they come back to Kenya. How will they be able to have access? And that's why we partnered with Bupa as well as Jubilee. So with Bupa, we're able to provide the international private medical insurance, and with Bupa, private medical insurance locally. So that it's a whole ecosystem where you're sure wherever you are, you can be able to gain quality access to healthcare. Now, the other thing is, obviously, as I've mentioned, been around for over 30 years, so you can rest assured, you can rest on our expertise, and as an aggregator, we will be able now to negotiate the best rate, best terms, As I mentioned, we also do actuarial services as well. So we can be... So one of the challenges that we also saw for the individuals in diaspora was also affordability. I think that the brochures and the benefits with the members through the Secretariat, and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. We have a tent right outside.
We give an opportunity to the floor to ask questions to the panelists. So the floor is now open. Please, brother there for me. Yeah, kindly introduce yourself. This morning when we met, didn't quite get your name. So,
healthcare is diverse, but I'll just pick a segment of the healthcare section. This is the diabetes and the insulin. For a while, I've noticed in the market people. So, which agency is responsible to ensuring that there is the cartridge in the market and is the vial in the market?
Thank you very much. That's your question?
It's question remark, who is responsible? Okay. Can we sort that out also?
Directed to the doctor.
Yeah, because I think it's closer to
Please, doctor, you're on the spot. The lady would like a response, and I would want you to respond immediately.
If I did not mention what my sister from Amref was saying, as a pilot, I used to fly small missionary airplanes. To support others. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Do you have a question? Do you have a question, sir, you'd like to ask?
One question I have for Bupa is...
Sir, you'd like to ask?
One question I have for Bupa is...
Okay, thank you. It's great to be here. My name is Abil. I came from Ethiopia along with my delegation from Ethiopia. Cooperatives are compared to local cooperatives, and in specific to health sector, how many cooperatives are operating in the health sector in Kenya? And maybe one additional question for Bupa is, are you operating to Captain Salomon, but as of now, Ethiopia is just here, Nairobi, and capital of African Union and other international organizations where there is
diabetes. And she asked my junior colleague, who is now our president, Dr. Kigondu, who is an obstetrician. I realize they better come to his aid because he may not have too much. To know about diabetes, which is our normal daily bread. So just contact, and he deals both with type 2 diabetes, which tend to affect adults like us, and also type 1, which is also called diaspora, because we are out there, but many of our parents and relatives will actually be suffering from either diabetes or hypertension. Let's face it, if you think about it, you must know someone with either diabetes or hypertension or both. The prevalence of hypertension, for example, is 21%. In other words, 1 in every 5 adults has high blood pressure, and about 5% of diabetes in Kenya. So that's a very high population, and very often when we're out there in the diaspora, some of those calls that we're hearing about, those calls at dawn, will be that someone has had a stroke, someone has had a heart attack, someone is admitted, and these are very, very often related to those two conditions. So just now that I have the mic, I recognize this because I was part of the diaspora for a very long time. Patients as outpatients without necessarily being admitted. So we have actually already been looking after many parents of those in the diaspora. When related to that and to our CEOs and the other head of Kenbright and Jubilee, and get policies at cheaper premiums than if we just got them individually. So that move of somehow...
Thank you very much, Ambassador Azir. Yeah, my name is Abdazir. Yeah, my name is Bob Nyangweso, Chairman KDA Global Chairman KDA Global USA. I'm very happy to be in this session. I know those chairman of the Kenyan Medical Association and also the lady from the Flying Doctors. We're both looking for funding. I was just wondering if any of you has considered crowdfunding, with the USA organizations, or funding, with the USA organizations or other diaspora organizations, or other ways of raising funds. Of course, there are, as we mentioned, from the USA, 50% of oil come. 50% of oil come to Kenya from Kenya from diaspora people. I was wondering what other
so that we are allowed to do our business, which is healthcare policy, so that we leave the businessmen to be selling. But crowdfunding, I'll come to you for that. Secondly, to the lady again, thank you, Dr. Kamotho, for that. He's a prominent physician in this country. So, but on a larger scale, again, I think he's been granular, meaning that you can. I know a guy, that kind. I know a guy, kind of. But now at a macro level, the person responsible for healthcare in this country is the Ministry of Health. Therefore, the Ministry of Health must procure, especially for the public sector, governments, which are also procuring. Then below that, then now we also have faith-based and private health chain. Insulin gets to the person on the ground. And then now there are NGOs that work with government on this Kenya National Diabetic Agency. So there are NGOs that work. So at any one time, you'll find a new NGO. When USAID goes, for instance, you get a new one. So that's the structure. So that's overall. At any one time, then you will find, you look for the Ministry of Health, county government, private, and public. So that's sort of how the insulin. Then now, as you talk of pens, I work in a rural place called Kegumo. We don't see any pens. So access to those sort of higher kind of medication, for you to see Kamotho, for instance, you see, then there needs to be a way that we are able to see people at the ground level. I ran a clinic at Kegumo, which is a public, the diabetologist, and ask him, by the way, now here. So you give him the context. First you tell him we're in Kegumo. So he already knows which insulins are available. And then, you sort of get doses. So there's the aspect of telemedicine. There's that aspect, the supply chain, and that. Then finally, the quality of medication. Kenya Medical Association is also a board member.
Want you to comment kindly. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate the comment from the pilots in the room. I work with flying doctors, but I'm not a pilot myself. But really, it's good to have someone else who understands. And I know a lot of other people in here could have people in your circles that have gone through various challenges, and you understand what that looks like. One of the things I also forgot to mention is that our cover, you can also extend that to your families, so that while you're out there working, you don't have to take calls at 1 in the night. You're trying to finish a shift and you're being told my uncle has fainted somewhere. So our vacation cover extends to that, because we are really trying to fundraise. So cover your families, your children, your relatives back here at home, so that you can sleep peacefully and know that we have taken them to a medical facility and the doctor is working on them, and you can remit the money when it's due. For Mr. Nyangweso, yes, that's a very good idea. However, we are open to as many avenues as possible to raise money. We have tried Mchanga to make Kenya mobilize and get funding. We are open to learning, we are open to networking, we are open to partnering, and we'll take what we get. Thank you.
Come on, a round of applause for her. Thank you very much. I think it's an opportunity to liaise with Bob and exchange information, exchange a methodology of working together and some form of understanding. So I'm happy you found a solution here. You have now been fully adopted by the diaspora family, and we're happy to onboard you.
And let me tell you, we've been able to provide those Kenyans with as much as they have little income, where they are more secure, where they have security, and when they could and work in Qatar, they are sure that their children and families are getting in Qatar. They are sure that their children and families are getting in very.
It would not be possible for us.
It
would not be possible for us to be here. So we don't take it for granted. Maybe Laurel and Steve, please.
Hello everyone. Luxury and also affordable. We recently launched an affordable project along Lower Kabete, and I would say that we are the pioneer in the affordable modern living space. And a very popular term, but affordable modern living means it's affordable and accessible, where we have units of even below 2 million shillings, and with the premium amenities that you expect in a luxury project, such as swimming pools and gyms and all those modern lifestyle amenities. Our goal, even for the diaspora community that we have worked closely with for years, is to provide an high return investment opportunity back home in the real estate space. As I've said, we are mostly Nairobi County. We have done projects in Kilimani, we have done projects in Upper Hill, and we also have done projects and are currently doing projects in Westlands, where the returns on real estates are very high. And so we serve clients who want high returns on their real estate investments within the upscale neighborhoods of our city, Nairobi. So feel free to visit our booth to see what we have, to see how we can work together in delivering value to you wherever you are. We have a lot of diaspora clients. They love us because we deliver on time. The diaspora clients, they love us because we deliver on time.
I don't know, a panelist mentioned Middle East, Gulf. Remember, we are also online, so we're being followed. Now that you are here, I know we had once an MP who said, "What about Migori?" And a round of applause to Kimisitu. Thank you so much.
Finally, as you said, there were 3 minutes. Yes, okay. We have 1.5 left. I have a session tomorrow, which I'll wait, but I also would wish to share at this early stage that we, Kimisitu, and me in person, I believe so much in the culture of saving, and by my daughter, but she's a member of Kimisitu. By my daughter, but she's a member of Kimisitu, and here on her right also. Please greet the other.
A round of applause to Gen Z. Thank you. Right. Thank you. Right.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be. My name is Ivy. I'm glad to be here. I'm also a member of Kimisitu Circle, and also representing the Gen Z.
Well done. Thank you, Makofi. Okay, so please, if you didn't get the program, a number of the better stuff, we're giving them out in doses. Kennedy, unite us. A round of applause to unite us. We want to see how it's going to unite us.
Is a solution. If you have a dream that you want to be actualized, Unite Us is a solution. If you have been thinking about a certain thing, or you had started and somehow you got stuck somewhere, come to Unite Us. We are going to sort you. Unite Us is a circle, a deposit-taking circle regulated by SASRA. We have just celebrated 32 years this year in May. I think we can clap for that. Yeah. And when the founders were starting this, they thought it would be the best thing to create something from home, because in 1993 is when the very big multinational banks were exiting the rural areas. So it created an opportunity for them to think deeper and to come up with what we have. Our common bond is open. We are not regulated, or rather we are not restricted to particular lines, persons. We are open to individuals, we are open to groups, and we are also open to business enterprises like the ones that we are seated with on this side, and also the businesses that we talked about in the morning. We are governed through a delegate system, so that allows for a lot of participation for the 436,000 members that are there in Unitas. Our business is around 5 things. It's around moving money. We allow you to operate accounts just like you have in your normal commercial banks. So even for our members in the diaspora and some who are watching and some who are here, you have been able to push in money and get money out. Number 2, we also promote savings. Everything begins with in your hand. So you have to demonstrate that also, this is what I am holding and this is the support I'm looking for. In terms of borrowing, we do facilitate loans, and very uniquely
of them. Group photo there, the cameramen and women. Please, Christine, join. Honorable, please, with the Bupa International, they have been on the stage, and Ken Bright. Also for only $3,000 per person, you have limitless cover for. Thank you very much.